very irresponsible. In fact, it exposes him as a very reckless and useless governor. A very shameless person who has no respect for the people of this country.
Useless?
Very useless and shameless. That he can describe honorable members of parliament who exercised their democratic rights to assembly, their democratic right to participate in demonstrations as guaranteed by Article 21 of the 1992 Constitution, to describe these honorable members of parliament and all citizens of this country, responsible citizens of this country, who engage in the peaceful Occupy BOG protests as hooligans, is the most irresponsible, most reckless thing that anybody can say. And clearly you can see that he's a shameless person, very irresponsible, very reckless, very useless, has no respect, no decency, no sense of accountability. He sees himself as law unto himself. He thinks that it is even wrong for you to engage in peaceful protest against his acts, and that he has a license to describe peaceful protesters as hooligans. That is common sense. That is what visionary leadership is about. Let me come to you now. And so they should stop these things. Let me come to you. But as one of the lead organizers of the demonstration, I want to commend and salute the thousands. Look, this demonstration undoubtedly was the mother of all demonstrations. I commend all of them, and I want to tell them, like the minority leader has said, this is only the beginning. We will occupy the Bank of Ghana until Ms. Governor Addison and his gang at the Bank of Ghana leave.
Let me come to you, Dr. Okoboy. But Sammy, you said that the governor has used words which were unprintable.
Yes.
But you have sat here and done same to him.
I can justify every word I've used. Whether reckless,
I'm coming.
Shameless. Is that an insult?
I'm coming.
If it's not shameless, will you call MPs hooligans?
For useless,
very useless.
Of what use? We dissociate ourselves.
Of what use is he?
Allow me.
When he has caused inflation to rise to over 50%.
My brother, Sammy, allow me.
Such a useless character.
You said I was heckling you, and then I allowed you to talk. But we dissociate ourselves from.
Oh, of course, you can.
From that.
But millions of people associate themselves with me. Those who cannot buy cake, those who cannot buy drugs, they associate themselves with me. That is totally useless.
I have 15 minutes for you.
It's not how. It is not the acidity of your words or how charged your emotions are that determines what happens.
Say that to the governor who called MPs, your former colleagues, as hooligans. Say that to him.
It is not how.
When you are done, Coach President Kufuor on public.
Yes, it is not how. It is not how acidic your words are, or how charged your emotions appear to be. That will bring you into office. It is the weight in your alternatives and the sanctity of your history or record that is likely to make Ghanaians vote for you. Sammy has used words, like I said, that are strong. Me, by virtue of my training, I can't.
Why are you suffering from selective amnesia? Okay. The man has described us as hooligans. Are we hooligans? Dr. Koboy, am I a hooligan?
I'm saying that.
So that one is fine.
Allow him.
What kind of hypocrisy is this?
Allow him.
But when we say the man is reckless, irresponsible, shameless, that one is an insult.
I said my training because
all those words: shameless, reckless, irresponsible.
I said
nothing insulting about those words.
I said. My neighbor has said, PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV, there, I see them, yopo.
For a higher PENDREAM TV in Pachos, and your first time, subscribe to channel, no found Sabo, I don't manage to set a the video be a tour. Ube first person I share. Usha video new you send a voice note to mine. I was 0277-128-777. 0277-128-777. I be bo actually Ghana for you na. For yanko share and a video number.
And introduce the Hospitals Fees Act. So please, you have been exposed. What you introduced was district and mutual and private health insurance schemes.
The Bank of Ghana,
not national health insurance.
Governor of the Bank of Ghana has responded to, even though he hasn't received the petition, he has responded to the concerns raised and the demonstration which happened 2 days ago. And I'm going to go on that now. You requested that I make some time for it. So I've been trying to make time for this one. So
I'll begin with to start.
No, I'm beginning with.
I'm beginning with you. You see, the comment that has been made by Ms. Governor Ernest Addison, the man who is supposed to be the governor of the central bank, is very irresponsible. In fact, it exposes him as a very reckless and useless governor. A very shameless person who has no respect for the people of this country.
Useless?
Very useless and shameless. That he can describe honorable members of parliament who exercised their democratic rights to assembly, their democratic right to participate in demonstrations as guaranteed by Article 21 of the 1992 Constitution, to describe these honorable members of parliament and all citizens of this country, responsible citizens of this country, who engage in the peaceful Occupy BOG protests as hooligans, is the most irresponsible, most reckless thing that anybody can say. And clearly you can see that he's a shameless person, very irresponsible, very reckless, very useless, has no respect, no decency, no sense of accountability. He sees himself as law unto himself. He thinks that it is even wrong for you to engage in peaceful protest against his acts, and that he has a license to describe peaceful protesters as hooligans. Before I even go into my submission proper, I want to tell him that by describing members of parliament as hooligans for engaging not in violence, not in acts of hooliganism, not in acts of thuggery, he is insulting the sensibilities of all the Ghanaians who these MPs represent. He is insulting the thousands of Ghanaians who participated in that peaceful protest and the millions of Ghanaians who could not participate physically but solidarized with us on the flanks, because for legitimate reasons they could not participate in that peaceful protest, but they stood in solidarity with us. He's insulting all these people. He is even insulting those who in times past have engaged in peaceful protest, and even in protest that did not turn out to be that peaceful, like the Occupy BOG protest. He's insulting his appointer, President Akufo-Addo, who led the Kumipreko demonstration. If people who engage in protests are hooligans, then Akufo-Addo is hooligan number one. He led Kumipreko. He led Wombo demonstration. Leaders are not supposed to talk they are not supposed to talk from their stomach. When you are speaking on issues of public interest, issues that affect the lives of Ghanaians, you need to address the issues with respect. Look, why did we embark on that protest? We embarked on that protest because this reckless and useless governor decided to illegally print close to 80 billion Ghana cedis. You are talking about close to 800 trillion old Ghana cedis for the Akufo-Addo government to spend on their reckless, useless, and wasteful lifestyle. He himself, the governor, has conceded on public record that in 2022 alone, the Bank of Ghana printed over 44 billion Ghana cedis in 1 year for the corrupt Akufo-Addo Bawumia government. He has conceded, he has admitted this crime, because what he did is a crime. And the only way such a criminal can master the effrontery to call members of parliament hooligans is because he is being used and shielded by a corrupt regime who are looting the state coffers dry. And as the accomplice, they are protecting him. They are not holding him accountable, because they are the very masterminds, they are the very promoters, they are the very beneficiaries of his criminal acts. Section 30 of the Bank of Ghana Act is clear. If government is in trouble, the banker of government, being the central bank or the Bank of Ghana, can come to government's aid by making available temporary advances such as overdrafts to the government. The Bank of Ghana can print money for the government. But the law says that the Bank of Ghana cannot print money which is more than 5% of the total revenue of the government in the previous fiscal year. In 2021, the total revenue of Ghana was 72 billion Ghana cedis according to the Ministry of Finance. 5% of 72 billion is just 3.6 billion Ghana cedis. So why did Addison go beyond this 5% threshold, which is allowed by the law, and printed in excess of 44 billion Ghana cedis for this government to waste on their opulent, profligate lifestyle? Why did he do so? And per section 67 of the Bank of Ghana Act, what the governor did was a crime punishable either by a fine or by a term of imprisonment not exceeding 2 years. He should be at Nsawam. He is not better than all the thieves who today are in Nsawam for committing crimes against the state. The only reason why he is walking free is because the very government that he illegally and criminally printed the monies for are in office and are protecting him. But on 7 January 2025, inshallah, a new government headed by His Excellency the Nation Builder John Mahama will be in office. And when he starts facing the music, when he gets his first invitation to Yoko, he will know that we were not engaging in hooliganism. We were rather holding him accountable. Look, by printing close to 80 billion for this government, okay, which led to excessive money supply in the system, and all of us know the consequence of that. Because you know that as a student of economic policy, that led to high inflation. In fact, last year we recorded hyperinflation. The first time in 4 decades that we recorded an inflation rate of over 54%. And according to the World Bank, this high inflation came about as a result of the excessive printing of money by Ms. Governor Addison and his ilk at the Bank of Ghana. And because of that high inflation, according to the World Bank, over 850,000 Ghanaians, read my lips, 850,000 Ghanaians have been pushed down the poverty line. They've been pushed into extreme poverty as a result of that high inflation, as a result of the criminal and reckless acts of the Bank of Ghana headed by Ms. Governor Addison. This is the same man who collapsed 426 banks, microfinance, savings and loans, and financial institutions. What was their crime? Their crime was that these institutions violated the Specialized Deposit Taking Institutions Act. And so the Bank of Ghana exercises powers. He said, you have violated the act. Directors are not supposed to do this, you did that. So we've collapsed you. They collapsed these banks. Today the owners, like the Amwabens of UT Bank, the Kwamnado Force of Unibank, the Seyd Wagongus of Heritage Bank, the Mikes of Beige Bank, all of them today. Even the Otabels of Capital Bank today are jobless. Thousands of their workers laid off without any severance package. Some of them have suffered stroke and many diseases. Some have died in the process. You commit this wickedness against your own citizens. Collapse 426 institutions. And you turn around to violate your own governing law with impunity. Which financial institution would have survived, okay, if they had engaged in a quarter or even 1% of what Addison has done? Printing over 44 billion, which according to the IMF, page 6 of the IMF staff report on Ghana, constituted 7.2% of GDP in 1 year. Who does that? Only a useless, shameless, reckless, and irresponsible governor of the central bank will do that. And because of these acts, the Bank of Ghana has incurred an unprecedented loss of 60.8 billion Ghana cedis and a negative equity of 55.1 billion. First time in the history of the bank. This man doesn't have the decency to resign. He has the courage the temerity, the effrontery to talk back at Ghanaians. When we went there, where was he? Like a coward. He ran away. He was hiding in his rat hole. When we left there, he got his voice back. Look, Addison, you can run, but you cannot hide. Right. Your day of reckoning, your day of accountability is coming. Look at the reckless expenditures they have engaged in. In only 1 year, this Addison claims that he spent 133 million cedis, equivalent to 1.3 trillion cedis on car maintenance and fuel purchases at the Bank of Ghana. Car maintenance at the Omuchi Lamborghini. If they would drive even Ferrari and Lamborghini, would they be spending 1.3 trillion on car maintenance? He claims to have spent a whopping 97 million Ghana cedis, equivalent to 970 billion old Ghana cedis on just domestic and foreign travels in 1 year. Domestic and foreign travels. He spent another 67 million cedis, equivalent to 670 billion old Ghana cedis on so-called computer expenses. And spent another whopping 32 million cedis, equivalent to 320 billion on communications, Sole and adverse communications, 320 billion. When he collapsed the central bank by incurring an unprecedented loss of 60 billion, in that same year, he increased the salary of the directors of the Bank of Ghana by 86.9%. The total fees that directors of the Bank of Ghana paid themselves in 2021 was 4.6 million when they were making profits. In 2022, that they incurred the unprecedented loss of 60 billion, in excess of $6 billion. They increased their remuneration to 8.6 million cedis, an increment of 86%. Tell me, which sensible person in the world, in the time of bankruptcy, in the time you are making unprecedented losses, will increase the salaries of directors by 86% in 1 year? When what any reasonable person will be doing will be downsizing and cutting down on salaries. This guy is milking our central bank dry. And because we are quiet and we've been quiet, he thinks he can take us for granted. But the good people of this country were at Eden on Tuesday when they spoke with one voice that enough is enough. Enough of the stealing, enough of the impunity, enough of the recklessness. We are tired. People are suffering in this country. Today, many people have woken up this morning in Ghana. They don't even know where the next meal is coming from. People struggle to even afford 1 square meal a day. A ball of kenke, which used to be sold for 1 Ghana cedis, in 2016 is today going for 5 Ghana cedis. Why? Because of high inflation caused by Addison the printer, under the instructions of the chairman of the economic mismanagement team, Alhaji Bawumia, who is the cause of all these problems. And this man has the temerity to talk back at us. Look, okay, in the midst of our crisis, and I'll conclude on this point. In the midst of our crisis, when children, pregnant women, sick women are lying on bare floors. He's a medical doctor. He used to be a board member at Kolebu. You tell you, the no-birth syndrome that Kolebu, even Kolebu is faced with. Not to talk about hospitals and health facilities in the rural areas. We can't even afford hospital beds. We can't even afford furniture, textbooks, food for basic school children. And in the midst of our crisis, at the time you have incurred an unprecedented loss of 60 billion, you have the audacity to say you are building a new palatial, ultra-modern head office at the cost of a whopping $222 million. Who bought on? $222 million. You are using that to build one office which will pack 7,000 cars. Are they opening a lorry terminal? 7,000 cars. Why? Are they opening another Kaneshi? And he did this in breach of the public procurement law by using restricted tendering when the project did not qualify for restricted tendering. He did this by varying the contract from the originally approved $81 million to now $222 million. The architects watching me, the quantity surveyors, tell me, in which country can you bid for a job or tender a job and award a job at $81 million and vary it by more than 100%? Then it is a whole new project. You see, the crimes these people are committing, People have no idea.
Okay.
And then on top of that, in this time of hardships, and then he tells her that, you see, he comes and tells her that, oh, we started the building long time ago. If we were building it now, it will not be a priority. But it was a priority then. Priority in 2019, when you were incurring losses of 800 million Ghana cedis. When in 2017, you incurred losses of 1.6 billion. When John Mahama and the Bank of Ghana at the time made profits consecutively for 4 years under his tenure, we did not think of our comfort. We did not think of a new head office. We thought about the health needs of Ghanaians. And that is why we built an ultra-modern hospital. The bank, no, I'm talking about the bank hospital, which was a refuge for many Ghanaians when COVID struck. That is common sense. That is what visionary leadership is about.
Let me come to you now.
And so we should stop these things.
Let me come
to you. But as one of the lead organizers of the demonstration, I want to commend and salute the thousands. Look, this demonstration undoubtedly was the mother of all demonstrations. I commend all of them, and I want to tell them, like the minority leader has said, this is only the beginning. We will occupy the Bank of Ghana until Ms. Governor Addison and his gang at the Bank of Ghana leave.
Let me come to you, Dr. Okoboy. But Sammy, you said that the governor has used words which were unprintable.
Yes.
But you have sat here and done same to him.
I can justify every word I've used. Whether reckless,
I'm coming.
Shameless, is that an insult?
I'm coming.
If
for
it's
that,
not shameless, will you call MPs hooligans?
For useless,
very useless.
Of what use? We dissociate ourselves from
of what use? Of what use is he?
Allow me.
When he has caused inflation to rise to over 50%.
My brother Sammy, allow me.
Such a useless character.
You said I was heckling you, and then I allowed you to talk. But we dissociate ourselves from.
Oh, of course, you can.
From that.
But millions of people associate themselves with me. Those who cannot buy cake, those who cannot buy drugs, they associate themselves with me. That is totally useless.
I have 15 minutes for you. 15 minutes for you.
My brother, because I work at the National Health Insurance, I want to state a few things. It's my time, 15, before I go on. In 2012, when the NDC, when the Act was passed, 852, the National Health Insurance Act, my brother, those who were working with the mutual schemes, they didn't go home. What that act did was to convert the council Sammy spoke about into an authority. Let's do some education here. What makes a program national, Mr. Host? If you have a mutual scheme in Lejokuku, you have a mutual scheme in Sola, you have a mutual scheme in Tema, you have a mutual scheme in Kitampo, across the country, is it a regional program or a national program?
Then you don't even understand.
In 2012, please, you said I should. In 2012, for the education of the public, when the act was passed, the act didn't employ people across Ghana to start running a national scheme. Please, what the act did was to dissolve the boards that were sitting in every district and let all evolve into one board at headquarters.
But the headquarters who built
this?
Please allow him. Kindly allow.
Allow who? When he was heckling me, every sentence heckling, did you say please allow him?
I asked. No, hold. Sammy, hold on. But I gave you the extra time.
Good for the
and then I asked
tolerant, like I was tolerant. I will heckle you. You heckled me, I will heckle you.
But Sammy, I asked him to stop heckling you. You remember that? But you remember that?
Then I gave that 4 minutes. I'll stop after 4 minutes. He heckled me. You can't have it both ways. You can't
allow me to run the show, Sammy.
How can you sit here?
Sammy, you're my brother. I said allow me to run the show.
The same as national.
I will have to still give him the time. No, you have the time.
So if anybody creates the impression that in 2012, all of a sudden across Ghana, a national scheme was set up that started to run insurance, it is a very inaccurate one. So the same staff, by the way, they are watching the show, some of them. The staff who are working with health insurance for the past 20 years, they were the same staff of the mutual schemes.
so it makes it national.
They all started reporting to an apex body.
Lost the argument. It's not about whether the workers were retained or not. It was not a national health insurance scheme.
You have the
Stop dancing around the issue. You lost it.
So the national
what you said was false. You didn't introduce national insurance scheme.
There are many who don't know that I wear two hats. I am the CEO of the National Health Insurance Authority, which is a regulatory body, which is equivalent to the council Sammy referred to. And I'm also the CEO of the National Health Insurance Scheme, which is a service delivery arm.
Thanks to John Mama and the NDC.
And you see, this is the sad aspect. Across Ghana, all those who were working with the mutual schemes, all of them came together as a family called the National Health Insurance Scheme. So all he's saying is that once you change the name of a program, it becomes yours. That is the sad reality of the position that we have today. But I thank God that a lot of the listeners and viewers are discerning. Now, let me come to the issues with BOG and all that. Look, it is not the acidity of your words or how charged your emotions are that determines what happens.
Say that to the governor who called NPC, your former colleagues as hooligans. Say that to him.
It is not how.
When you are done, Coach President Kufuor on public.
Yes, it is not how acidic your words are or how charged your emotions appear to be that will bring you into office. It is the weight in your alternatives and the sanctity of your history or record that is likely to make Ghanaians vote for you. Sammy has used words, like I said, that are strong. Me, by virtue of my training, I can't.
Why are you suffering from selective amnesia? Okay. The man has described us as hooligans. Are we hooligans? Dr. Koboy, am I a hooligan?
I'm saying
so that one is fine.
Allow him.
What kind of hypocrisy is this?
Allow him.
But when we say the man is reckless, irresponsible, shameless, that one is an insult.
I said by training because
all those words. Shameless, no problem. Reckless, irresponsible. I said nothing insulting about those words.
I said by virtue of my.
Said hooligans is more stronger, more. I don't even know the words to use. More insulting than any other thing. We have not insulted him. We are calling him by his name.
By virtue of my training, I am unable to put such words out. But all I will say is that Addison is a citizen performing particular duties. Addison is not a spirit or above the laws of Ghana. Our MPs who make laws are conscious of all the avenues you can explore to get Addison to do the right thing, assuming without admitting that he's doing some wrong. It is true that they have a right, my brother, to demonstrate, but you don't have a right to assault, intimidate, and insult.
But who has assaulted anybody?
Let me make my point.
And who has intimidated anybody? I'm
choosing my words.
You keep on asking me questions. When you're saying false things about you don't ask me any questions. Did we insult anybody? Did we attack anybody?
No, you haven't.
My brother,
I've just said that the words you have used there is what I'm not comfortable with.
My brother,
in the demonstration you have not insulted. So let that.
My brother,
you are not comfortable with the shameless or the irresponsible.
With the useless.
With the useless.
See, Addison has proven that he's a wise man.
He's of no use. That's the meaning of useless.
If given the opportunity, I might not have put the words like he put it. But for not going to take the petition himself, he proved to me that he's a wise man. If you look at the orientation and the output of those who were demonstrating, if you are asked to categorize them in terms of the atmosphere, it was a charged atmosphere.
Which is normal.
In fact, to the extent that the chairman of the NDC was using some signs on stage, which is equivalent to decapitation.
Oh, come on. General Mosquito
started
doing this at our Congress.
Look,
what is it? Look, you guys should get serious. What kind of politics is this?
Words can move 1,000 people. Sometimes signs can move 1 million. What is the use? What is the signal? What is the message that the chairman tries to put out when he holds his hand in public?
That's why you distance yourself from it. You dissociate yourself from it.
So, my brother, Addison.
So when General Mosquito at Accra Sports Stadium, after he won the national championship, was doing this, he meant he was going to kill NDC members.
No, of course.
How cheap can you get?
My brother,
let's be fair to ourselves. So
let me keep my focus.
By doing this, we're saying that we're going to decapitate Addison's head. Okobo, is that what you're suggesting? The police has issued a statement commending us for how peacefully we conducted ourselves.
Please allow him.
When you went on demonstrations,
Mr. Host,
you think we forgot?
So, Addison applied
even
wisdom.
we didn't say you were hooligans.
Addison applied wisdom by not. But you see, something interesting happened on that day. When you see socialists, so-called socialists, having a problem with taking documents from, in quote, a security man, it tells you what is in their heart. Maybe if a lawyer had brought it, they would have been happy. They have a problem that a watchman, like Sam George put it, these are socialists who tell you that.
No, they have a problem that.
No,
we are not socialists.
People,
for the record, people are learning.
No,
he's misrepresenting.
Social democrats.
We are social democrats.
Okay. But they have a problem with the fact that a senior, as high as the level of a minority leader in parliament, walks up to you and you refuse.
No, the gentleman, what's his level? What's his high?
He's the director of security.
Director of security.
Is he a junior at the place?
No, but the petition was not mentioned.
But you see,
we wanted the government.
We have to come to a place as a country.
A tail for channel I share video we also a PENDREAM TV mpacho what share we adwuntwa bia wo fa video yi no ho bia no send my e wo 0277128777 0277128777 e WhatsApp number no send your voice ne bra na bebo magana fo nyina ate wonka
dedi kama mamena PENDREAM TV ase na so far so good say open online portal e wo Ghana nipa share nipa follow nipa comment here to my best of knowledge without any biases PENDREAM TV.